Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be going over old nutrition mistakes that I used to make, and we're going to look at, I found my old meal plans in my computer, so we're going to go through that, and then I'm going to tell you what I would do differently now, so maybe if you're making those mistakes, or if you don't really know what to do, you can structure your nutrition better, and hopefully see gains faster than I did, because some of this stuff is quite crazy. Not quite crazy, like I never really did anything insane, I don't think, but there are definitely things that could have been optimized to make it a bit more efficient. So I'm going to put up the first meal plan on the screen here. So you can see that my breakfast is quite large. Now, I'm going to give myself the benefit of the doubt and say that I probably ate this post-workout, but I had two Rice Krispie treats, a bowl of cereal, grapes, blueberries, zucchini and bell peppers, zero sugar chocolate syrup, and a double scoop protein shake. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with this post-workout. I don't like how I'm getting majority of my protein from a double scoop protein shake, right? I would never I barely like having a scoop of protein right now just because I'm more focused on whole foods because at the time back during this period of time when I had this certain nutrition plan, I remember that I lacked a lot of micronutrients now when I look back at it. So getting majority of my protein from a double scoop protein shake is just not ideal for me. And I say that because when I'm looking at the rest of the plan, so my lunch, I had a bagel with cheese and six pastry crisps. Okay, see now the volume could have been much larger had I used whole foods, right? And my lunch consists of absolutely no protein. There's 10 grams of protein in my lunch. It's a bagel, a piece of cheese, and six pastry crisps, right? So I would have structured it a little bit differently. Instead of having a double scoop protein shake, I probably would have had one protein shake post workout with all those carbs that I had, and then I would have had chicken with my lunch, and then some sort of beef for dinner. But the dinner is not that bad. The dinner I have two tacos from Taco Cabana and some Halo Top ice cream. Not awful, not awful. I would just structure this differently, really, and rely less on protein powder. I'm gonna give myself the benefit of the doubt and say I probably went to the gym before breakfast, where realistically now I would eat first. I used to go to the gym fasted because I looked better during my workout. When that's not the goal here. Like we're not going to the gym to look at ourselves in the mirror, right? We're going to the gym to build a dream physique. So when we look at ourselves all the time, we look good, right? But I would go fasted because it just made me feel better about myself. It's completely untrue. Like you don't work out fast. If any, the most important thing when working out is that you're not worried about being hungry and you're not overly full. Like you're not stuffed, right? I had pastry crisps and Rice Krispies, and at the time, like this isn't really a lot of calories, and when majority of it is coming from snacks like that, much harder for me because I ate a lot in snacks that were a little more processed, higher in calorie when I could have been eating whole foods. Okay, this is the next. This right here is the next meal plan that we have. So I start off breakfast with one waffle and a venti caramel iced coffee, coming in at a whopping 270 calories. 45 carbs in this coffee. I'm drinking 45 carbs. And I wondered why I felt so hungry. I just drank damn near 300 calories worth of what? Sugar? So 45 carbs, 5 grams of fat, 10 grams of protein. See, and this is people ask me, well, why do you drink black coffee? Because it's not 270 calories for 45 carbs. So then for lunch, I had vanilla Greek yogurt, frozen blueberries, chocolate syrup, and a scoop of protein. Not awful. I'm going to give myself the benefit of the doubt and say that that was, if I ate breakfast and then worked out and then ate lunch, that is not terrible. The only complaint there is just the drinking of the 270 calorie coffee, right? With 45 carbs in it. Just not the best use when you're in a deficit, which at the time I wasn't in a deficit because I'm pretty sure I was overweight back in the day. But when you're in a deficit, you don't want to be wasting your calories on liquid calories, right? Even if you love sweet coffee, right? You can definitely make a healthy version of a sweet coffee that's way lower in calorie. Like for example, right now the you can mix a core power with black coffee and boom bam, you got the same thing. Sugar free syrups, whatever. Don't like. I used to try to fit my favorite full fat, high calorie things into my nutrition instead of making like a diet hack version of it when that was much more efficient, right? Because it still gave me more room to have that volume. That is what's going to keep you full on a cut, right? When you're on a cut, the main things you want to focus on are fiber, volume, and satiation. Making sure that you hit your protein goals, you hit your fiber goals, and then making sure that you're eating food with a lot of volume. And when you eat high calorie foods or drink high calorie drinks like this, that's not a lot of volume. My dinner was, three street tacos and two margaritas. Okay, see, the only complaint with dinner is not that you shouldn't have those things, but it's like, I shouldn't have been tracking this. Like, if I'm going out to eat, I shouldn't be, like, so, like, I shouldn't be tracking my margaritas, right? If I'm going out to eat, if I'm going to have a good time, I need to enjoy it. And I guarantee that I was probably tracking this at the table and probably stressing about it the whole time. And I think that's the reason why I include this in here, because if you're going out and you're going to have a drink, or you're going out with family and you're going out with friends, so long as it's not every night and it's not all the time, you should enjoy it and you should not be tracking it like I was. We have another macronutrient chart breakdown. So this is slide 5. So here, what I want to highlight is 1,646 calories. Okay, I can almost guarantee, I was a little bit on the heavier side. I'm gonna give myself the benefit of the doubt and say I weigh 150. Realistically, it was probably more pushing 160, but I trained 5 days a week, and I remember training intensely. I was doing like 45 minutes of cardio, and I was aiming to eat 1,600 calories, and as you can see, or I was aiming to eat 1,800 calories, and that day I ate 1,600. 1,800 is already, it's not a terrible deficit, but I can remember that I used to try to eat under what my goal was just to make myself feel like I was like skinny. But in reality, that was just detrimental, right? Because I didn't have the mindset of I'm fueling myself to train and to look good. I just thought of skinnier, 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 right? And so I was just in such a restrictive mode or mindset that it was causing a negative effect on my future goals, right? Yes, I lost weight quicker, but at what cost? I was exhausted, I was tired, I was overworked, I was underfueled, and the physique that ended up being presented at the end of it was subpar, right? Had I correctly fueled myself and just trusted the process and been a little bit more patient, I would have gotten much better results. I would have looked better, right? It might have taken a little bit longer, but in my opinion, that's worth it. So here's another meal plan. So I started off the day with 3 eggs, an energy drink, 2 rice cakes, scoop of protein powder, turkey bacon, an English muffin, cheese, and some egg whites. So the only complaints with this diet here is just, again, I had three protein shakes this day. That is unnecessary, completely unnecessary. You don't need that supplementation with your protein. I would have replaced a protein shake with some chicken. Like my lunch is protein, banana, and milk. So I had a smoothie. I would rather fill that with like chicken and veggies or something like that. If the lunch was post workout, I would have done chicken and rice or chicken and potatoes, something like that. Breakfast is a little heavy, so I'm assuming that this was post workout. Yeah. So the only complaints with this is just the supplementation of protein. I feel like it's over supplementation. I prefer to get the protein from Whole Foods, right? See, because you can see I have it again at dinner. I have half a scoop at dinner, and then I have a scoop at breakfast and a scoop at lunch. It's just unnecessary. Like like I made a video about this, but when you supplement your protein with protein snacks, protein chips, protein powders, you're losing a lot of micronutrients, and that's good for your overall health and wellness, regardless of if you're on a weight loss journey or whatever it is. We get a lot of micronutrients from Whole Foods, and yes, as much as we should focus on macros, if you're worried about your overall health and the way that you feel and the way that you look, you want to make sure that you're getting all of those things, not just macros and not just hitting this and hitting that, but also the micronutrients. The next meal plan, we can see that I had an egg sandwich, steak, and then pre-workout. I had 3 scoops of pre-workout, a Dannon Light and Fit, and then a Fiber One chocolate fudge brownie. Not terrible. I'm assuming that this was my pre-workout meal. I would have just added slightly more carbs, maybe like 70-gram carbs, taken a little bit of fat away, and just not had so much volume, because I can guarantee you that I was probably stuffed out of my mind before I worked out. I want to say that I gave myself time to digest, but knowing that I logged the pre-workout, usually the pre-workout I go to the gym within 30 minutes, which means that I ate all this and then worked out within 30 minutes, which means that I was probably quite full, probably didn't have the best conditions to have an optimal workout, because you don't want to be working out when you're super stuffed and trying to digest food, and you also don't want to be working out when you're hungry or you're thinking about food or you feel like your stomach's growling. Let's go right into lunch and look at 4 Nutter Butter cookies and a strawberry cheesecake, Dannon Light and Fit, right? Not inherently bad. This is not terrible, but when you're in a deficit, you want to be getting as much bang for your buck calorie-wise as possible. I know I say not to, but when you have a good understanding of the macronutrients and stuff and you don't accidentally neglect fat because you're focused on low calorie, then you want to focus on making sure that you get enough volume, right? If I'm in a deficit, I am not going to waste my calories on 4 Oreos, but rather something more macro-friendly where I can get volume and feel like I'm eating a lot. Because I guarantee you after I had this lunch, I was starving, right? 4 Nutter Butter cookies wouldn't fill up anyone. I don't care who you are. That's just not like, and knowing me, a former binge eater and a food lover and an eater at heart, this probably just made it harder for me to stay to plan, right? So as you can see at dinner, I had 40 sweet tarts, a banana, strawberry cheesecake Dannon, Chipotle steak bowl, and ice cream. So majority of my dinner, it was 1,100 calories, 158 carbs, 29 grams of fat, and 61 grams of protein. Honestly, my main complaint with this is just how large the pre-workout meal is and how I chose such calorically dense foods knowing I was in a deficit. Right? You have to be a little like when you're bulking, you have more leeway, you have more flexibility with your nutrition, right? But when you're tight on a budget, you don't go dropping bands, right? If I'm being honest. You know what I mean? Same thing here. When you are in a calorie deficit and you're trying to make this as efficient as possible and make this as easy as possible for you, to gravitate towards foods that fill you up on the least calories possible, right? Now, I want to reiterate, as I do in every single video, we need to make sure that when we have that mindset, we are aware of the fats that we need to have on the day-to-day, right? Because if we completely forget about that or we're not cognizant of our fat levels, then naturally when we gravitate towards low calorie, we will avoid them. So breakfast is going to be oats, PB Fit, and some almond milk. Honestly, this is my pre-workout meal. I don't hate it. Again, I would have a little bit more carbs, but the fat and protein's fine. I'd add probably about 40 more grams of carbs. I would do that because I try to aim to eat about my carbs in body weight, my kilos. Is 8 ounces of chicken. Okay, don't hate it. A cup of corn and half a cup of rice cooked. That's not terrible, right? As a post-workout meal, I would actually recommend that. That's great. And then dinner, I had more chicken, 2 eggs. Oh, I think I made chicken strips because I had panko in there. So I must have beat the eggs and dipped it. Not terrible. The only issue with this that I mainly wanted to include at the bottom there is protein's not coming from supplementation, but rather actual chicken. So that's good. That's a plus. We're getting somewhere. So if you look down there, I ate 1,440 calories and 22 grams of fat, 22 grams of carbs. My daily goal for carbs was 59. Am I crazy? My daily goal was 59 carbs. And mind you, I was training, but I'm tripping. That was fats. Okay. Sorry, I misread that. I thought it said calories, not carbs. Calories, I ate 1,440 calories that day. And if I calculated my maintenance correctly based on estimations of what I was at the time, because I vaguely remember, it's 2,200 calories. So I'm eating, that's 800 calories under my maintenance. Like, that is insane. Don't do that. If you're doing that, if you're attempting to do that, please do not. It's just, you're going to look like shit. You're going to feel like shit. The physique that you want is literally, you're just going to look smaller. I promise you. Do not do it. All right, let's get into the next one. Add 4 slices of bread. See, at the time, I also didn't track my fiber. I know for a fact that I didn't eat a lot of fruits and veggies and stuff like that. Sometimes I did, but I know for a fact that I didn't hit my fiber goal every single day. In this specific slide, though, here, I had the Sara Lee bread, so that has a sufficient enough amount of fiber, about like 5 grams per serving. So I got my fiber goals on this day, but I just want to say it's important when you're in a deficit to make sure that you're hitting your fiber, your protein. So here we have, I had 4 slices of bread, yogurt, granola, and 2 bowls of cereal. Cereal, not terrible, not terrible. This wouldn't be a bad pre-workout meal, a little high on the carb side, but this wouldn't be a bad pre-workout meal. I wouldn't hate it. So I would just cut out the granola and have something else a little more satiating. That's a personal preference, though. I know for a fact that granola did not satiate me. Lunch, 4 slices of bread, cheese. Oh yeah, I used to make these burgers on this Sara Lee bread, which is really, really good. So if you're looking for a diet hack, try making that, because the Sara Lee bread actually does have, I want to say it's 5 grams of fiber per 2 slices. Low calorie cheese and the ground beef. So that's not terrible. Dinner was straight protein. Although I felt satiated, I had absolutely no carbs, right? And knowing me, I probably woke up in the morning and worked out on that empty stomach. Last one for the day. You can also see kind of my eating habits here, right? If I know I'm in a deficit, some of these things I shouldn't be having, but I try to work them in anyways, when if I wanted it to be a little bit easier for myself, I would have just avoided it and had something else that was sort of like it or kind of like it, because it's fine it's fine every now and then to work in things that you love, but if every single day you're eating like 3 things, but they're like, you're eating like cake and this and that, and they're all calorically dense, you're just not getting enough volume. So it's gonna make sense that you're starving. 2 slices of the low calorie Sara Lee bread. Then I have 5 pieces of banana bread. That's just overkill. 1, okay, cool, I get it, but 5. You can tell that this must have been in my binging days, because again, 2 pieces of bread, 5 slices of banana bread for breakfast, right? That's damn near probably all the carbs I ate in the day. Lunch, we have 8 ounces of chicken and 2 Greek yogurts, and then dinner we have 4 ounces of chicken and a double scoop protein shake. I'm sure you guys can see where that's wrong. Like, number 1, 81 grams of protein that day, and more than half of that came from a double scoop protein shake. Get serious. Okay, I had 12 ounces of chicken. No, I had 8 ounces of chicken drumsticks. 4 ounces of chicken breast, 2 Greek yogurts. See, I would do this totally different. I would have woken up, had some eggs, maybe those 2 pieces of toast, maybe an egg white omelet with the eggs, and then 1 slice of banana bread. Then I would have gone into lunch, had some chicken, rice, and some veggies, still kept a Greek yogurt if it allowed. And then I would go into dinner and have maybe ground beef, steak, shrimp, another form of protein. I don't want to do overkill with the chicken, so for dinner I'd probably have shrimp or steak or something else, and then I would have some sort of veggie, maybe some potatoes, something like that. Just give myself more varieties. You can tell that this was very strict. I had my fun in the morning and then literally suffered the entire day, right? Had I just had a piece of banana bread and called it a day, but at the time, you can tell, and this was a very stressful time in my life, so I was using food to cope with feeling a certain way and to make myself feel good, so of course I naturally had 5 slices of banana bread, right? I would have, now that I understand macronutrients work and how micronutrients make me feel, I'm much more intentional with the things that I eat, and I'm able to be a little bit more disciplined because I know in the long run what's going to propel me towards my goals because I understand it, right? At this time, I'm thinking, okay, macros, macros, macros. Well, I can eat 5 slices of banana bread and then just suffer all day later and only have protein. See, but when you understand that, when you figure that out, you realize that it's much better to eat to fuel yourself properly, still allowing yourselves to have the things that you like, but not go off the walls, right? And when we focus on macros, we just focus, can it fit into my macros? I mean, let's work on why do we feel the need to eat 5 pieces of banana bread? What's going on? Like, yeah, I'm sure it felt great. I'm sure it felt really, really great. But what was I unhappy with and struggling with and dealing with that I couldn't stop after the one piece? Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you can learn from my mistakes and implement some of the things that I said in this video so that you can have a more efficient nutrition plan and hopefully get you to your goals a lot quicker than I did. I know it may be hard and I know it's not easy to always choose whole foods, healthy foods, and focus on micronutrients, but I promise you in the long run, it'll make you look better, feel better, and it'll propel you further and further and further in your fitness journey. And it'll make the path to your dream physique or whatever goal it is that you're chasing in terms of fitness much, much more efficient, therefore causing less frustration. I love you guys so much. If you need any help at all, DM me. If you want to work with me directly one-to-one to build your dream physique, you can fill out the application in my Instagram bio. If you need anything at all, comment down below, DM me, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, wherever. I really freaking love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.